Okay, hello. Yes, we are live now. Can you guys hear me? Please confirm if I am audible and visible to all of you. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, guys. Please confirm if I am audible and visible to you. Good morning, everyone. Okay, good morning, Kamlesh, Abhishek, Ananyan, Shailesh. Please confirm if I am audible to you. Am I audible to each one of the CMA final students? CMA final, soon going to be CMAs, the professionals of the country who are going to manage cost accounting books, cost accounting records of big MNCs, and they are going to handle the price sensitive information, the costing related aspects of big MNCs and big products. I'm facing all those CMA final students right now. Divya, Ashish, Utkala, Priyanka, Srinath, Anjali, Nagendra. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, guys. Utkala, Krishna, Musk, Srinath, Shweta Tiwari, Ashish. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Nagendra Kalasani. Okay, good morning. Good morning, everyone, to this live session. Now we are going to start cost audit, basics of cost audit in this particular session, guys. Before I start the basic concepts of cost audit, guys, let me remind you of this schedule. This is the test series which has been organized for all of you with respect to two subjects. Subjects are cost audit and BVM SPM. Cost audit paper number 19, BVM SPM paper number 20. With respect to these two subjects, I'm starting a test series. Already, actually, test series has been started on 12th of March. Today, the test is of mergers and acquisition. One of the most important topics of your syllabus, guys. Mergers and acquisition. Today, we have test of mergers and acquisition. So please join the WhatsApp group on 9643929913. This is the mobile number where you will be able to join the WhatsApp group. Join the WhatsApp group and you will be sent the details of the test series which happen every Saturday. Now, please note that test series is not going to happen live on my YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel, there'll only be revision series of the course content. I will definitely try to cover maximum chapters. The chapters which are of more importance, I'll try to pick up those first, and the chapters which are of less relevance, I'll try to pick up them later. So I'll try to cover up the entire cost and management audit in this particular session will happen every Saturday 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. So 1.5 hour session, and we'll be able to cover almost the entire syllabus of cost and management audit up till June 2022. So the mission is very clear in front of us. The objective, the target is very clear. We need to qualify June 2022 attempt examination with flying colors. And let me tell you a matter of fact, guys. The matter of fact is that these two subjects, paper number 19 and paper number 20, will contribute maximum to your success, which means that these two subjects are maximum scoring subjects. The score which you can attain in these two subjects is definitely more than 70% and very, very easily, because the course content is less, the complexity is less, and the marks which are achievable are much more in these two particular subjects, cost and management audit and BVM SPM. No, I'm not saying all this just because I teach these two subjects. I'm not saying this just to motivate you. I'm not saying because I am a teacher of these two subjects. No, please ask your seniors. You please ask my fellow faculties of Group 4. You ask anyone in the CMA fraternity. Ask them which are the two subjects of CMA final which will give maximum benefit to us, which will have maximum positive impact on our result of CMA final. All of them will definitely say that these are the two subjects which will have maximum potential of attaining good score. So yes, guys, both these subjects, cost audit and BVM SPM, I will be able to brush these two subjects so well with you. I will be able to clarify your concepts in such a great detail that in examination you are not going to face any challenge, any problem with respect to these two subjects. And trust me, attaining 70 plus in these two subjects is very, very easy. Course content is less, complexity is less, and yes, they are very, very scoring subjects. So if you are giving both the groups, then the chances of getting an aggregate due to these subjects, or even getting a rank due to these subjects is very, very high, because these subjects are very, very potentially scoring subjects. So yes, enough of badai about these two subjects. But yes, that's a fact, guys. I'm not just making it up. It is a fact that these two subjects are very, very scoring, and you are definitely going to score good marks if you prepare these two subjects very well. I'm not saying that don't prepare other subjects not well. I'm not saying that. No. But the point is that these two subjects, if you put your heart and soul in them, then getting 70 plus marks is very, very easy in these two subjects. And therefore, getting a good score in these two subjects is very, very important. Okay. Now, guys, doesn't matter where are you taking coaching of these two subjects, whether you're doing self or taking coaching, or whatever mode you are, usually adopting for preparing these two subjects. Just attend the revision series regularly and give me test regularly. If you do these two things with me, give this test series regularly. This is the schedule of test series till 30th of April. I'll be sending you the test schedule of May very, very soon. So if you give these tests regularly and religiously, if you give the revision lectures proper attention, proper importance regularly, then guys, I'm very, very sure that you're going to attain good marks in these two subjects. Please WhatsApp on this number for getting yourself added to the WhatsApp series, the test series of these two subjects. And yes, we'll be able to take it up from there. And guys, group 3, those students who are also giving group 3 direct taxation, I'm already taking revision sessions of direct taxation on Tuesdays and Thursdays. 2 days a week I'm taking these sessions for direct taxation for intermediate as well as final students. So please do join those live series, those live sessions on Tuesdays and Saturdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays for direct taxation. So group 3 direct taxation along with group 1 direct taxation, both have been taken up together. So the topics which are same, I'll be taking them together. Topics which are different for final, I will be taking up them separately. That is the plan which I have for all my CMA finalists who are soon going to be CMA professionals, who are soon going to be big CFOs and costing in charge and managers of big MNCs. Big corporate giants will have their costing, their pricing, their profits under your realms, under your supervision, under your monitoring. So yes, get ready to rule the corporate world. Last step of your preparations, just one more effort, you'll be through group 4, and then you'll be called as CMA's cost and management accountant. I'll give you a very small tip, guys. From today itself, start calling yourself CMA from day 1, from today itself. Okay. So for example, if your name is Srinivasa Narasimha, okay, your name is Srinivasa Narasimha, then from today, please start calling your name as CMA Srinivasa Narasimha. Yes, from today, start calling yourself as CMA Ananyan Lohani, CMA Priyanka Sharma, CMA Shailesh Kambli. Just add these two words with your name against your name, and you'll be done in June 2022 examination. I'm very, very sure that you'll secure good marks and you'll qualify in June 2020 examination. Just a matter of months, guys. A few months away, you are from your dream, from your aim, from your goal, that is getting those 3 coveted alphabets before your name, CMA. The last fight that we need to give, the last push that we need to give, the last effort that we need to put is now in group 4. So yes, all the very best for your preparation, and let's start with a mission in mind, with a clear focus and goal in mind. Mission June 2022. We have to conquer this mission. We have to attain success in this mission. And yes, for these two subjects and direct taxation of CMA final, I am there as your guide, as your coach, as your mentor for attaining success in these 3 subjects. So let's start the first chapter of your syllabus, which is Basics of Cost Audit. Let's start the first chapter of your syllabus, Basics of Cost Audit. And guys, the first chapter is Basics of Cost Audit. And then in this particular first chapter, we are going to study, what do you mean by cost audit? What is cost audit? Okay, so let me first of all tell you, the entire paper is of 100 marks, paper number 19, divided into 2 parts, cost audit and management audit. Okay, cost audit would command almost 65 marks weightage in your examination, and management audit will command 30 to 35 marks in your examination. That is the split between cost audit and management audit. Management audit is entirely a theoretical part of your syllabus, which is covered in 3 chapters, in 3 study notes. This entire management audit is covered, and cost audit is rest of your portion, which includes practical and theoretical subject. Now, let me tell you one thing very, very clear up front, very, very bluntly. I'm going to tell you a thing about cost audit. So, can you guys tell me, because you guys have already studied a little bit of cost audit? Can you tell me, cost audit, is it a theoretical subject or is it a practical subject? Chat, your answer should be in the chat box. Okay, is cost audit a practical subject or is cost audit a theoretical subject? I want answer in the chat box. Let's see who all are aware about your subject called cost audit. Is cost audit a theoretical subject or is it a practical subject? I want answer in the chat box. Okay, so you understand, right? Chapter, the subjects like law is a pure theoretical subject, right? Subjects like SFM is a practical subject. SCM, costing, it's a practical subject. CFR is a practical subject. BVM, SPM is a practical subject. What is cost audit? Is it practical or theory? Is it a theoretical subject primarily? Is it a theoretical subject or is it a practical subject? What is cost audit? Is cost audit theoretical or cost audit is practical? What do you think is cost audit? So someone is saying both. Ashish saying both, combination of both. 70% practical, 30% theory is what Sushmita says. Priyanka says both. Nagendra says both. Ashish Sukhya says both. Utkala says practical and theory. Ashish says both. Okay, so guys, before I start delving upon the course content of cost audit, let me tell you a very important fact about cost audit. Let me be very upfront and frank with you. Okay, cost audit is mostly a theoretical subject, with only a few portions of practical aspects. And majorly it is a theory portion. Okay, majorly it is all about theory. So if it is all about theory, then the skill which you are going to be tested on in this particular subject is your mugging up skills. How well can you mug up law? How well can you mug up all the sentences which are written in your book? How well can you mug up each and every paragraph as it is, word by word? And I want to know how many of you are good at mugging up. Just write a yes or no. Just write a yes or no. Because guys, I won't lie to you. Okay, today is the first session of cost audit. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't have to lie to my students. I cannot start this particular subject on the platform or the foundation of a lie. I have to be truthful to you. So this subject is entirely or majorly focused on theory, and the skills which you'll be tested on is your mugging up skills. How well are you able to mug up the entire paragraphs, entire lines, entire portions, word by word? How are you able to mug up and reproduce in the examination without applying your mind? No, mind is not required to be applied. Mind is not required to be applied. It's entirely mugging up skills which are required in this particular subject. So how many of you are good at mugging up? Yes or no is what I want an answer. Okay, I got mostly a no. Sushmita Saha says yes. Srinivasa Narasimha says yes. Mostly or no. Sarvesh says yes. Rohit Yadav no. Deepti no. Anjali no. Ananta no. I'm not good in theory. Ashish Sukhya is saying I'm not good in theory. Ashish, if you are not good in theory, how are you going to conquer this subject? How are you going to learn this subject? How are you going to score good marks in this subject? It will be a big problem for you, because mugging up skill is very much required for doing any theory subject, and cost audit is a theory subject. So how will you be able to qualify your examination? That is the big question which is there in my mind, and it should be there in your mind as well. Ashish Sukhia. Guys, let me tell you one thing. Whatever I spoke in last 3 to 4 minutes is utter rubbish, is absolutely incorrect. Mostly students are being fed up. They are being feeded up by their seniors or other teachers that cost audit is a theoretical subject and you just need to mug it up and it will be done. You need not apply your brain in it a lot, and it is all mugging up. It's all pure theory subject. All these notions are fed up in your mind. They are feeded in your mind. Therefore, you start this subject cost audit as with a wrong presumption, with a wrong assumption. No, cost audit is not a theoretical subject. No, cost audit doesn't need any mugging up. No, cost audit needs your application of brain. Yes, it needs application of your brain. It is as practical as CFR. It is as practical as BVM, SPM, business valuation. It is as practical as SFM, strategic financial management. It is as practical as costing. So please leave this notion out of your mind. Please throw this notion out of your mind that cost audit is a theoretical subject. I know many of my students who are actually working in big organizations, or who are talking to their seniors, who are talking to ex-CMAs, who are ex-CMA students who are now CMAs. Whosoever are you talking to, they always feed you with this feedback that, oh, cost audit is a theoretical subject. You'll be able to cover it very, very easily before the examination. So don't pull it up right now. Don't pick it up right now. Just do it at the end of the your preparation. You'll be able to do it. It's a theoretical subject. Wrong notion. Wrong notion. Cost audit is an absolute practical subject. Absolute practical subject. 70 to 80% of your paper will be practical based, which means even if there is a section, even if there is a rule which is into consideration, that will not come as it is. It will always come on the basis of a case study, or on the basis of an application of that particular law. No, it is not theoretical. Please don't have this notion in your mind. So first thing that I want to clarify is cost audit is not a theoretical subject. It's an absolute practical subject. Yes, we'll be doing numericals in it. Yes, we'll be doing calculations in it. Yes, we'll be doing computations in it. And the theory portion which is there, that is also not theory as it is. It will be coming in form of a case study. So your writing skills, your analytical skills have to be very strong. If you just mug up a rule, if you mug up rule 3, you will not be able to reproduce in the examination, because examination will be absolutely practical based. It'll be case study based. So first thing that I want to clear is, guys, cost audit is not a theoretical subject. It's a practical subject. Am I amply clear? Please write clear in the chat box if I'm clear. If you're clear with this thought, I'll start doing this. If you're clear with this thought, please write clear in the chat box. Karan Kumar says, I am also weak in cost audit. Karan Kumar, just attend this revision series regularly and you will love this subject. This subject will be your favorite subject. I can vouch for it. You will be in love with this subject. Is it clear? Is it clear? Yes, Gauri Shankar says clear. Karan Kumar says, Gyanvi says clear. Srinivasa says clear. Prashanta says clear. Gurpreet clear. Shweta Tiwari, very clear. Aisha clear. Absolutely, guys. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Superb. Superb response from all of you. Superb response from all of you. Great, guys. So, guys, let's start our first topic of our syllabus, the first chapter of our syllabus, basics of cost audit. What do you mean by cost audit? And in this particular section, in this particular chapter, we are just going to deal with certain basic elements of what is cost audit, what is audit, what is difference between audit and other kind of audits like statutory audit, internal audit, etc. What do we have to do in this audit? All those things will be clarified in this particular session. So before coming on to cost audit, let me start my discussion with two words which are included in this word cost audit. First word is cost, second word is audit. Okay, so I've written these words separately over here. This is cost and this is audit. So we need to understand two things. We need to understand two things over here. Thing number one, what do you mean by cost? And thing number two, what do you mean by audit? Then if I will combine both of these definitions, I will be able to know what do you mean by cost audit. So first we need to learn about these two words. There are two different words in this particular subject. Cost, a separate word. Audit, a separate word. We'll combine both of them together at a later point in time. That will give us cost audit. Now, first of all, what do you mean by cost? What do you mean by cost, guys? Cost would mean the bundle of resources which are required to produce or manufacture a particular thing, or providing certain services. That is known as cost. So cost is accumulation of total of all the resources which are employed in making a particular thing. That is known as cost. And guys, from cost only, there is a stream of study which is derived, which is known as costing. Yes, you have done your costing in your group 3. Costing is the stream of study which we do. Costing. What do you mean by costing? Costing means identification of cost, classification of cost, measurement of cost, assignment of cost, and preparation and presentation of cost information. This is costing. So what is costing? Costing means we need to identify what is our cost, what are the various elements of cost. So suppose if I'm making this remote control, this is a remote control of my AC which is installed over here. I'm making this remote control. Okay, this remote control requires plastic, it requires ink, it requires rubber buttons, it requires a display, it requires a chip, it requires a digital analog chip or other settings which are there inside the inside this particular remote. Now what are the various costs which I incur for manufacturing this particular remote? And guys, it will not only be the cost which is seen as material cost over here, the labor which is put into it, the plant and machinery expenses which is put into it, all that will go into making this particular remote control. That is known as cost. So first step is identification of cost. Second step is classification of cost. So cost can be classified into various aspects. Cost can be classified into direct cost, indirect cost, material cost, labor cost. So depending upon how do you want to present your information of cost, you will classify that cost into various aspects. So the second element of costing is classification. Third aspect of costing is measuring the cost. What should be quantum of that cost? What should be amount of that cost? What should be the treatment of normal cost? What should be the treatment of abnormal cost? All these things are covered under measurement section of the costing. Third is assignment of cost. Once you have accumulated all the cost, some cost may be used for more than one cost centers. How would you allocate that cost into more than one cost centers? That is known as assignment of cost. How will the cost be assigned into different units, into different cost centers? That is known as assignment of cost. So similarly, guys, cost has different elements. Cost has different assigning factor to it. You will allocate that cost. All these things will come under the costing arena. And last but not at all the least, how to present and prepare a cost sheet. Guys, we have done cost sheets since our intermediate times. We are pro in doing cost sheets. We are pro in making cost sheets. We are all aware about cost sheets fundamentals. So whatever cost sheet is prepared, how is it prepared? That is an important element of costing. That is an important element of this word called cost or costing. Now we come on to audit. We come on to audit. Now, as soon as you hear the word audit, what are the words that come to your mind? What are the activities that come to your mind? Please mention in the chat box. Let's see who all know what is audit. Okay, because audit is a general word. Don't talk about cost audit right now. Okay, don't talk about cost audit. I'm talking about audit. What do you mean by audit? I'm just asking you to tell me what do you mean by audit. Please comment it on the chat comment section. Please comment it. What is audit? I just want to know what is audit. What words do you remember when you listen to this word called audit? And yes, you can take a hint of the words which are written over here. You can take a hint. But other than this word, what is other words that you can think of audit? Wow, brilliant. Give a true and fair view. Very good. Yes, Vinay Jain, yes. These classes will be given to the students in Google Drive also. They are live on YouTube channel also. Both of these things. Beautiful. Verification. Srinivasa Narsimha. Brilliant. Srinivasa Narsimha says independent examination. This is the most important word, guys. Independent examination. Vouching verification. Anjali, very good. Anjali, very good. Process verification. Nara Balakrishna says it is an independent verification. Absolutely, guys. It is checking. Right, guys? Verification and reconciliation of books of accounts. Sarvesh Kumar, brilliant. Divya, verification, checking, examination. Very good, Divya. Very good. Nagendra says vouching and verification. Brilliant, brilliant. So I guess all of you have done your intermediate audit in a very, very good manner. Therefore, you are able to define cost audit in a very, very proper manner. Very good, very good. Checks the books, verify. Very good, Ashish. Ashish says check the books. Very good, Ashish. So absolutely, you are very right, guys. Audit means verification, review, examination, appraisal, checking. All of these are known as audit. So yes, when your teacher checks your test papers, that is also audit. When your mother checks you whether you are studying or not, that is also audit. When your mother checks your wardrobe, whether you have folded your clothes and put them properly, that is also audit. So all these things are known as audit. Audit means doing the things in the right way and checking that things are done in the right way. So your mom has set a standard for you. What is the standard that your mom has set? Your mom is telling you, look, you are in CMA final, so you should study at least for 8 hours a day. And she keeps a check on you. She makes sure that you study for 8 hours a day. And yes, after 8 hours, you can go out, you can play, you can play with your Xbox, you can play with whatever you want to do. You can do social media, you can go with your friends, do whatever you want to do. But for 8 hours, your mother will have a check that you should study. So audit means doing things the right way and checking that things have been done in the right way. Checking that things are to be done in the right way. Sir, now please tell us, who will decide what is the right way? Who will decide what is the right way? Now, I think that CMA final requires 6 hours. My mom thinks that it requires 8 hours. Who will decide the right way? Guys, the right way will be decided by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs or the governing bodies like Institute of Cost Accountants of India. Institute of Cost Accountants of India will tell you that this is the right way of identification of cost. This is the right way of classification of cost. This is the right way of measurement of cost. This is the right way of assignment and preparation and presentation of cost. They will tell you the right way. It is not up to you. You will not tell or decide the right way. They will tell you the right way. Who? MCA and Institute of Cost Accountants of India will tell you the right way. And you just have to check. You have to verify, review, examine, appraise that whether the right way has been followed by the company or not. So yes, let's club these two words now. What is cost audit? Cost audit means checking, verifying, reviewing, examining whether costing has been done in the right manner or not. That is known as cost audit. Let me repeat. Verification of whether cost account records have been prepared properly, whether cost accounting plan has been adhered to, that the policies, procedures, and practices of costing is correct. Verification that cost accounting treatment is correct. Verification that cost of production or sales is correctly computed. That is known as cost audit. So guys, audit is a general word. Whatever is attached with this word audit takes color of that particular thing. So for example, if I talk about tax audit, okay, I am adding this word tax over here, tax audit. Instead of cost audit, I'm adding the word tax audit. Then that would mean verification, review, examination, appraisal, checking of all the provisions of Income Tax Act 1961 read with Income Tax Rules 1962. That is tax audit. What is companies audit or financial audit? That means the audit of checking the financial books of accounts, which is done by chartered accountant, and ensuring that accounting standards or the IFRS are followed properly. Ind AS are followed properly. So, sir, do we as cost accountants have some standards, have some law which we have to follow? Yes, guys, we also have laws. The laws are known as cost accounting policies and cost accounting plans. These are the laws which are going to study in cost audit. And there, cost accounting record rules are there. We need to ensure that the client has made its costing books of accounts according to the standards, according to the rules, according to the determining all the regulations which are surrounding the cost audit. We need to ensure that. Now, before I move further, let me tell you what is the ultimate objective of audit. So why are we doing an audit, sir? So why are we bothered? We are cost accountants, sir. We have got a rank, right? We have got a rank in CMA final. We are very, very happy, sir. Why do we want to check someone else's books of accounts, sir? Why are we doing this audit, sir? Why, sir? We don't want to check someone else's books of accounts and pull out its problems, sir. Why are we doing this? The objective is very clear. We need to express an opinion on the cost statements of that particular company. No, we are not people who would find out errors and frauds in the costing books of accounts. Yes, in the course of costing, we might get an opportunity to unearth some frauds and errors, but the prime objective of conducting a cost audit is to express an opinion. We need to express the opinion on costing, cost pricing, the profit margins, the administrative overheads, the selling expenses. All those are to be tested by us, and we need to express our opinion on all those costing statements, pricing statements. That is our ultimate objective. And one very, very important word, guys, please highlight this word carefully, okay? I hope you're not able to see this word, so I'm pulling up the screen a little bit. Yes, now you'll be able to see this word. Please highlight this word, guys. Independent. You have to be independent as a cost auditor. You have to be independent. What do you mean by independence? Independence means you have to be unbiased. You don't have to be biased. You don't have to be prejudiced. You have to be absolutely unbiased. So I'll give you an example. So guys, I have a younger brother, and my younger brother is very much fond of eating ice creams. Okay. So whenever me and my younger brother used to go out of home, then my mother always used to tell me to keep a check on my younger brother that he doesn't eat ice cream from outside, because he'll fall ill if he eats ice cream. So I would go with him, and I would always make sure that he doesn't eat ice cream. One fine day, my younger brother told me that, okay, Nikhil bhaiya, please let me eat one ice cream. I told him, no, 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 mom has instructed not to eat ice cream. Please let me eat one ice cream. I said, no, I can't permit you to eat one ice cream. Then he told me, he tried to, bribe me. He said that, okay, I will give 100 rupees from my pocket money to you this time in this month if you allow me to eat an ice cream. And guys, I was lured by this particular favor, by this particular advancement. I was lured. I agreed. I told mom that my brother has not eaten ice cream, but my brother has eaten ice cream. So the opinion which I expressed to my mother about eating ice cream of my younger brother, was that opinion independent opinion? Answer is no. It was not independent opinion. It was a biased opinion. Why was I biased? Because I was bribed. I took bribe. I was bribed. It was not an independent opinion. So guys, the prime thing about independent opinion, the prime thing about expressing an opinion is that it should be independent. Independent means it should be free from any kind of influence. Shweta Tiwari, claps to Shweta Tiwari. Shweta Tiwari's words are brilliant. Independent means free from any kind of influence, free from any kind of bias. So your audit should be free from, your opinion should be free from any kind of bias. That is the bottom line of audit. So audit has to be independent. Okay, sir. Let's move on to cost audit. And yes, I've already explained to you. Cost audit means verification of cost accounts or records, cost accounting plan, policies, procedures, cost accounting treatments, cost of production. So everything which is related to cost is to be audited by you. And who will tell you what is the right way of identification, measurement, preparation, presentation of cost? What is the right way? Institute of Cost Accountants of India will tell you the right way through cost accounting standards, and that is the right way that you have to follow in all your costing books and your costing terminologies and your costing techniques. Okay, sir, we got it. Now, guys, let's look at certain historical facts. Okay, I hope you are able to see the board well. Guys, if you are not able to see the board well, then you can comment in the comment box, and I'll be shaking the board here and there a little bit as required. Okay, now let us see the genesis of cost audit, the starting point of cost audit. Where was cost audit started? What is the history of cost audit? Because unless until you know the history of cost audit, unless until you know where did the cost audit emanate from, you won't be able to understand this particular subject well. So let's see where are the origin of this particular audit called cost audit. Now guys, one thing which I want to state over here before starting the history of cost audit is that there is a audit which is financial audit, which is separate from cost audit. Okay, my question to you is, which professional is expected to do financial audit? Please write on the comment box. Which professional is has got the monopoly to do financial audit or statutory audit? Which professional has the responsibility of doing statutory audit? Please write in the chat box. Okay, I want to know which professional is expected to do financial audit or stat audit. Please write the full form, Piyush Lohani. Okay, Chartered accountant, chartered accountant. Oh, yes, absolutely. Satish Kumar says chartered accountant. Krishna says CA. Karan Kumar, CA. Anjali, CA. Brilliant, guys. Brilliant. Yes. So, CAs are required to do financial audit of a particular company. Financial audit means he will not be looking at the cost. CA will not be looking at the cost. He will only be looking at the financial statements, whether debits and credits, accounting standards have been followed or not. All those things are followed or not. He is expected to do that. Now, one very important thing, very important distinguishing factor between chartered accountants and cost accountants is that cost audit is monopoly of cost accountants. Financial audit is monopoly of chartered accountants. Now, one very important factor, which is distinguishing factor among both of them, is that chartered accountants will have to do a financial audit of all the companies, which means financial audit is mandatory for all the companies, whether it has 1 rupee of turnover or whether it has 0 rupees of turnover or no turnover or crores and crores of turnover, irrespective of the fact. Financial audit is applicable on all the companies. However, cost audit is applicable only to a few companies. It is not applicable to all the companies, because only where government feels that costing is a sensitive point of this particular company, costing or cost sheet or costing arrangement is very sensitive, is very important for this particular company, only in those cases, guys, costing terminologies will be used. Costing cost audit is required to be done. Otherwise, cost audit is not mandatory for all the companies. Guys, as a CMA, what would you want in future? What would you want? Cost audit to remain confined to certain companies, or should it be extended to all the companies? What would you want as a CMA? Please write in the chat box. Do you want cost audit to be confined to limited companies, or should it be extended to all the companies? All or limited? What do you want? Let's see who answers this question. And there'll be an obvious answer, guys. We all are CMAs, and we all some at some point in time we feel greedy about our profession, right? We are greedy people. We want our profession to grow, and our profession will grow only when cost audit is extended to all the companies. Perfect, perfect. Your answer is absolutely right. It should be for all the companies. Srinath says CFASORCAS. I don't know what Srinath is saying. Rest all the students are saying all companies, it should be extended to all the companies. Perfect, guys. So yes, our aim or our dream would be that CMA or cost audit is extended to all the companies, but as of now, cost audit is only and only extended to a few companies. Now let's see the history of cost audit. So guys, in 1965, Companies Act 1956 proposed mandatory provisions for cost audit. That was the first time when cost audit was introduced in India in 1965. So there were two separate sections. Maintenance of cost records was made necessary. Okay. So guys, financial records is a separate thing. Financial records are balance sheet, profit and loss account, cash flow statement, and the annexures. Okay. That is financial statements. What is costing statements? Costing statements means cost sheet. Reconciliation between cost statements and financial statements. Cost sheet. Cost sheet and the subsidiary ledgers of cost sheet, whereby we'll be able to know what are the essential elements which are included in material cost, what are the essential element which is included in labor cost. Okay, so these are known as cost records. So for the first time, cost records was made mandatory for certain companies. For the first time in 1965, cost audit was made mandatory for certain companies. For the first time in 1965, Companies Act 1956 had these two sections, section 2091D and section 233 capital B, for cost records and cost audit respectively. Guys, it's a very, very obvious thing. Cost audit cannot be ordered for companies where cost records are not mandatorily required to be prepared. So the first step of ordering audit is that you have to mandate that that company prepares cost records, because many companies today also, in today's scenario also, do not prepare their cost records. They do not prepare their cost records. So the first step is you have to mandatorily apply maintenance of cost records, and the second one is that you have to impose cost audit for auditing those cost records. So that was done in 1965 for the very first time. Now guys, 1965 to 2008, this era was the era when cost audit had very narrow scope. This was the era when cost audit had very narrow scope. From the year 1965 to the year 2008, cost audit had very narrow scope, because only 44 industries were required to prepare cost records, and specified companies were getting their cost audit done. So 45 industries, 44 industries. Industries means, a particular gamut of companies which are preparing sugar, a particular gamut of companies which are preparing alcohol, a particular gamut of companies which are preparing steel. That is industry. Okay. So 44 industries were required to prepare their cost records, but cost audit was ordered only for a few specified companies. Now, guys, practically human nature. Okay. Human nature. Okay. You answer my question. Okay. You answer my question. Human nature. I'm telling you a very practical approach. Okay. I am covered under mandatory provision of keeping cost records and maintaining cost records, but I am not required to get them audited. Would I even prepare cost records? Normal human nature, okay? Would I even prepare cost records? Would those companies even prepare cost records? Yes or no in the chat box. I'm asking a very simple question. 44 industries covered under cost records. Only a few companies which were required to prepare their cost audit, which were required to get their cost audit done. Only a few companies. Would the rest of the companies be preparing their cost records on a practical standpoint? Yes, Shiva, I will be informing everything. No problem. Yes, Ashish is right. Satish is right. Ajin is right. No one will prepare cost records unless and until cost audit is ordered for them. And guys, at that point in time, during this era, only a few companies were required to get their cost audit done. Not even industry. So, the cost audit order would come like that, the following companies are required to get their cost audit done. And there'll be name of the companies like Reliance Industries Limited, Tata Steels Limited, or, Adani Infrastructure Limited. This way, there were maximum 40, 30 to 40 of the lakhs and lakhs of companies which are there in India. The number of companies which are getting their cost audit done were only 30 or 40. That's it. So during this era, the scope of cost audit was very limited because cost audit was prescribed on a company specific basis. Company specific means company name was mentioned in the cost audit order, and those companies were required to get their cost audit done, and no other company was required to get their cost audit done. The companies which were required to get their cost audit done, they were few in number, 30, 40 per year. That's it. Only few companies were required to get their cost audit done out of the lakhs and lakhs of companies which were there. So this era was the era when cost audit had very narrow scope. But time changed. In 2011, the company based approach of cost audit was changed to industry based approach of cost audit. So what do you mean by that? Now, please listen to this change very, very carefully. And this was the landmark change in the history of cost audit. Cost audit profession spread its arms and flew in the sky in the year 2011 after this remarkable change happened in cost audit profession. The remarkable change was the company-based approach was shifted to industry-based approach. So what is the difference between company-based approach and industry-based approach? I'll tell you the difference, right? Earlier, the order used to say that following companies are required to get their cost audit done, which is Reliance Industries Limited, Tata Steels Limited, and Adani Group Limited, or any other company. So the list of the companies were there, and they were only 30, 40 in number. But then the rule got changed. The ministry realized that this is partiality. Why would Reliance Industries Limited, who's working into oil sector, that is required to get its cost audit done, but the other companies who are working in oil sector are not required to get their cost audit done? If oil sector costing is complex, then it is complex for Reliance Industries Limited, it is complex for ABC Limited, it is complex for XYZ Limited. Then why only Reliance Industries Limited was exposed to cost audit? This was the question which was asked at that point in time. And it was realized that a company's cost audit is not the focal point, but the focal point is a particular industry's cost audit. So if you feel that it's necessary that oil industry requires cost audit because its cost sheet, its costing technique, its cost is very, very important from an economic standpoint or from company standpoint, then please order cost audit of all the companies which are there in oil sector. Please please order cost audit for all the companies which are there in sugar sector. Please order cost audit for all the companies which are there in leather sector. So company-based cost audit approach was changed to industry-based cost audit approach. And now the cost audit order from 2011 or 11 onwards, the cost audit order used to read as under What are the wordings of cost audit order? The wordings were: companies which are falling under the following industries are required to get their cost audit done. Number one, oil and petroleum. Number two, electricity generation. Number three, roads and railways transportation. Number four, infrastructure development. So guys, all the companies which are dealing with oil, all the companies which are dealing with infrastructure, all the companies which are dealing with electricity are required to then get their cost audit done. So the scope was expanded to a very wide level. In 2011, it was a landmark change. It was a beautiful, beautiful change that in 2011 onwards, the scope was widened. The scope was expanded to a very, very large extent. And now the cost audit was not ordered for specific companies, but the cost audit was ordered for specific industries. So cost audit was ordered not for specific companies, it was ordered for specific industries. That is how the scope expanded in 2011. Guys, let me tell you a very important, a very interesting fact. So I started teaching cost audit in the year 2010. I started teaching cost audit to CMA final students in the year 2010. So till 2010, 11, when 2011 rules came, till 2011, I was teaching students the specific company based approach, which was very, very narrow. And then when in 2011, the new rules came, 2012 syllabus onward. So earlier there was 2008 syllabus. In 2008 syllabus, the earlier rules, the specific company based rules were there. But then when the syllabus changed to 2012 syllabus, when I was teaching my students in 2012 syllabus, at that point in time, I was teaching them the industry specific rules. That was a landmark shift in cost audit. And post 2011, cost audit has seen remarkable expansion. It has seen remarkable furtherance to its scope and its employability. The CMA's employability has increased many folds after 2011 when these amendments came by. And guys, finally in 2014, so 2011, the rule was changed from company based to industry based. Finally, in 2014, a fine framework, a very minute framework of the audit and records was developed by the ministry. Companies Act 2013 came, which replaced the old sections. The old section was 209. 209 was replaced with 148.1. And 233B was replaced with 148.2. So Companies Act 2013 had both the rules which were there earlier as well, but in a different form. So maintenance of cost records and cost audit. The new rules, the sections which you have to remember for your examination is 148.1, 148.2. Those were the new rules of Companies Act 2013 which came in for cost records and cost audit. These were the new rules. These are the new rules which have come by. The new sections which have come by: 148.1, 148.2. Earlier sections were 2091D. Earlier section was 233B. And guys, a very beautiful and amazing amendment which was brought by in section 233B was, okay, 233B had a proviso. You know what was that wordings of that proviso? Please listen to the wordings of that proviso and then tell me whether that proviso was bad or good. Okay. So the proviso to section 233B said that, provided that if sufficient number of cost accountants are not there, then cost audit may be granted to chartered accountants. This was a proviso in erstwhile section 233B. Tell me, good proviso or bad proviso from a CMA profession standpoint? Good proviso or bad proviso? Proviso said if sufficient number of cost auditors, cost accountants are not there for conducting cost audit, then the cost audit can be given or can be offered to chartered accountants. This was a proviso in section 233B, the earlier Companies Act 1956. Tell me, good proviso or bad proviso? Please tell me, good proviso or bad proviso? Bad. I was expecting this. Brilliant, guys. Bad. Ashish said bad. Sushmita says bad. Anjali says bad. More bads are required, guys. I think rest of you don't feel that it's bad, huh? Not so good for CMA. Anant Krishna IRS. Very bad. Sushmita is saying very bad. Absolutely, guys. It was very, very bad. So in the new section 148.2, this proviso was repealed. This proviso was not there. So this was the beauty of the new section cost audit 148.2, that the harming provider in section 148.2, the harming proviso was not there. Yes, in 148.2, only the rules related to cost audit were there, but the harming proviso was not there. So what is your mother section, guys? The mother section, I think we should, just like we pray uh, to God, and we perform some rituals before God. I think we as CMAs and cost accountants should perform rituals in front of this section 148, because this is the mother section. This is the God section for all cost accountants. This is the mother section, or this is the God section for all cost accountants. Companies Act 2013, section 148, subsection 1 and 2, and further subsections also. So 148 is the God section, or is the mother section for all the CMAs. And yes, there were some rules which were prepared, certain rules which were prepared. Companies Cost Records and Audit Rules 2014. How do you have to prepare your cost records? A guidance was given. How do you have to get your cost audit done? A guidance was given. Guidance was given by way of these rules, which were introduced in 2014. These will henceforth be known as the rules in my ensuing PPT. And guys, these have been amended in 2015, 16, 17, 18, and 19. And all these amendments are relevant for your June 2022 and December 2022 attempt. So you have to do all these amendments which have been introduced by the ministry in rules 2014. Amendment happened in 2015, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So the last amendment which has come by in the rules is 2019 amendment, which are applicable in your CMA final syllabus for June 2022 and December 2022 attempt. That is the crux of the matter. Okay, sir, got it? All right, let's move on. Yes, now let's come on to the mother section, guys, the God section. Okay, first of all, let's fold our hands. With folded hands, we should welcome this section, because this section is the mother section. This section is God of all sections for CMAs, section 148, which I was talking about. Okay, let's just fold hand, and you can draw an emoji of folded hands like this. You can draw an emoji in the chat box, because this is our God, this is our mother section. And if I can have some prayers in front of this section, that will be super amazing, because this section is going to give me my livelihood. This section is going to give me the prosperity which CMAs require. This section is going to give me everything. So this section is the mother section or God section. I want some folded hands in the chat box. Okay, emoji of folded hands in the chat box, please. Respect this section for 148 of the Companies Act 2013. We need some respect for this particular section. Brilliant. Classic chords, Mayank Pawar, Utkala Talla, Nagendra, Srinivasa. Everyone is saying, please, folded hand. Ashish is saying, please provide notes for the reference. Okay, Ashish, I will drop it in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Adarsh, Adarsh is folding hand. Sushmita is folding hand. Karan Kumar is folding hand. Very good, guys. Very good. With folded hands, I start the most important section of journey of CMA, the most important section of the profession of cost accountancy, the most important section for all the professionals of CMA, for the entire CMA fraternity, the most important section, section 148 of the Companies Act 2013. I start this particular section. This is the backbone. This is the backbone of cost audit. This is the backbone of cost audit. Guys, let me tell you one very important thing. Audit is useless without a supporting law. Unless and until there is a section of Act which says that audit is mandatorily required to be done, audit is not carried out by anyone. So assume a situation where you are going to a company and telling them, get your cost audit done. Company will tell you, get lost. I don't want to get my cost audit done. I am busy in my work. Let me work. Why do you disturb me? Get lost. But soon as the provision for cost audit is introduced in the Companies Act, as soon as it becomes law, if you don't follow this law, then your company will be shut down, will be locked, will have penalties and prosecutions. If those strict measures are adopted by Companies Act, only then that audit becomes powerful. So an audit without a supporting law is useless. So audit has to be supported by some law, and the law which supports cost audit is section 148 of the Companies Act 2013. In this particular session, we are going to study three subsections of this particular section: 148.1, 148.2, 148.3. There are more subsections, and we have to study all those subsections. But as of now, we are studying these three subsections. three main sections: section 1, subsection 2, and subsection 3. So subsection 1, and the most important thing, cost records. That is the primary thing which we need to prepare, because unless and until cost records are prepared, cost audit will not be done. So cost records is the primary thing that we are going to study now. So let's start cost audit. Okay, cost records. Let's start cost records. Okay, sir. Let's start cost records. Now the question is, sir, are all the companies which are there in India required to prepare their cost records? Answer is no. All the companies are not required to prepare their cost records. Only a select few companies, only a few companies are required to prepare their cost records. Not all the companies are required to prepare their cost records, sir. Then who are those companies which are required to prepare their cost records? Guys, the companies which fulfill certain conditions are required to get their cost records prepared. What are those conditions, guys? The conditions are only specified companies, only the specified companies which are producing or providing specified goods or services are required to prepare their cost records. So the specified companies which are producing or manufacturing or providing certain specified goods or services are required to prepare their cost records. So two conditions which are required to be met is only specified companies are required to prepare their cost records, and only when they are producing specific goods or they are providing specific services, only then they are required to get prepare their cost records. We are not talking about audit as of now. Okay, we are not talking about audit as of now. We are talking about preparation of cost records. Now, sir, what do you mean by specified, sir? What is this specified? Who will specify these companies? How will we come to know which companies are required to get their cost records prepared? Guys, the ask is very simple. The answer is very simple. Based on turnover and net worth criteria as per the rules. So what are those specified companies? Those specified companies are the companies which satisfy certain turnover criteria, certain net worth criteria. If your turnover is more than certain limit, then you come under category of specified companies. And if your net worth is above a specified limit, then you are categorized as specified companies. So if both the conditions are met, which are given in the rules, only then your company will become specified company. Okay, sir, got it. So if your turnover, I will presume that if your turnover is huge, right, then you are required to prepare your cost records. Absolutely, guys. Small companies who have minuscule turnover, 1 crore, 2 crore, 50 lakh, 10 lakh, they are not required to prepare their cost records. No, not applicable to small companies. It is only and only applicable to big, huge companies, giants. So what are the turnover limits? Guys, turnover limits we are going to study in chapter number 2, in the chapter of the rules, chapter number 2. Sir, what are the products and services on which cost records is applicable? What are the products and services are is a very big company, like, you know, ITC. ITC is a very big company producing many goods and services. So, sir, since ITC is a big company, is it categorized under the category of cost records? Answer is no. Only when the big companies are producing or providing certain specified goods and services, only then, guys, the cost records are required to be prepared. Only specified goods are coming under the category of cost records. Sir, how would we know what are the specified goods? Guys, specified goods are categorized under the rules. Again, the rules will tell us. The rules will tell us what are the specified categories of products. And guys, we have two categories, category A and category B. Category A and category B. We have two categories of goods and services which will tell us what are the requirements of cost records. So, two conditions are required to be satisfied. Mayank Pawar, very good, Mayank. Mayank is studying cost audit very well. Mayank has told the turnover limit, turnover limit 35 crores or more. Yes, very good, Mayank Pawar. Big round of applause for Mayank. He has told the turnover limit, guys. Okay, so if you are categorized under category A or category B, so if you are producing goods and services which are specified under category A and category B, only then, guys, you are required to get your cost records made, get your cost records prepared. So yes, not every company is required to get its cost records prepared. Not every company is required to prepare its cost records, its cost sheet, material costing, everything, every kind of costing. Only the companies which are following these two conditions, that is, their turnover is above the prescribed limit, their net worth is above the prescribed limit, and the goods which are produced by that company are specified goods under category A and B, only then the cost records applicability is there. Okay, so Now let's move on to cost audit applicability. This was cost records applicability. Okay. Now one more thing, guys. One very important thing, guys. Very important thing. So what do you mean by cost records? What do you mean by cost records? So what is the meaning of cost records? You are saying that we will prepare cost records, we will prepare cost records, we will prepare cost records. So what are cost records? What do you mean by cost records? Is profit and loss account cost record? Is balance sheet cost records? Is cash flow statement cost records? What do you mean by cost records? So guys, cost records means the bureau of or the details of utilization of material, utilization of labor, and other items of cost. This three things accumulated together will form cost records. So cost records means three things. Cost records means three things. What are those three things? Utilization of material, utilization of labor, and other item of cost. Now I'm thinking, which is that statement? Which is that performa? Which is that format in which all these three things are included? Please write in the chat box. What are those performa? What are those sheet, or which is that account where all these three things will be disclosed? What is name of that particular thing? Please write in the chat box. I want to know, where would you write these three things? Utilization of labor, utilization of material, and other item of cost. Wow. Brilliant. Super amazing. Utkala, Shweta, Anant Krishna, Gaurav Saha, Satish Kumar, Srinivasa, Deepti, Divya, Anjali, Nagendra Kalasani, cost sheet. Wonderful answer, guys. All these things are there in cost sheet. So in a nutshell, if in layman language, if someone asks me what is cost record, I will define cost records in one word, which is cost sheet. So cost records are cost sheets and the accompanying documents which come up with cost sheet, like details of material which are absorbed, the allocated material, the allocated labor, the allocated charges, everything, overhead which has been absorbed, etc. All those things clubbed together is cost records. It is nothing but cost sheet. In layman terms, what is cost records? It is cost sheet. Cost sheet is cost records. So yes, perfectly fine. Your definition is absolutely right, guys. Let's move on to the second aspect of our section. So yes, again, our mother section, our God section, and the primary God, subsection 2, cost audit. And yes, guys, this will earn us money. This will earn us fame. This will earn us monopoly. Only and only CMAs, and that too practicing CMAs, are required or are allowed to get their cost audit done, to do cost audit. Only and only practicing CMAs are eligible for conducting cost audit. So who can conduct cost audit? Now, first of all, which companies are falling under cost audit? Okay, which companies are falling under cost audit? Who have to get their cost audit done? Okay, number one condition, companies covered under subsection 1. Oh, so guys, unless and until the company is required to get its cost records prepared, cost audit cannot be applicable. So first condition is that company should mandatorily be required to get its cost records done. So cost records, maintenance of cost records is the first condition to get your cost audit done. Obviously, guys, but obvious, unless and until cost records are prepared, unless and until cost records are mandatorily required to be prepared, what is the use of cost audit? What thing will be audited if cost records are not there? So the first and foremost criteria which Companies Act 2013 showcases is that the first and foremost criteria which Companies Act 2013 showcases is that, first you need to require to prepare your cost records. Only then will your cost audit be done. So first you need to get your cost records prepared. Only then cost audit will be done. So the first condition of cost audit, guys, the first condition of cost audit is you have to prepare your cost records. You should be covered under subsection 1. That is the first condition of cost audit. Plus. So guys, plus would mean both the conditions are to be cumulatively satisfied, or any condition is satisfied will be cool. Please write in the chat box. What is meaning of plus? Both the conditions are to be satisfied. Both are to be satisfied, or any one is to be satisfied. What is meaning of plus? Please write in the chat box. Please write in the chat box. Both of the conditions should be satisfied, or only one should be satisfied. What is meaning of word? What is meaning of this symbol plus? That is what I'm asking. What is meaning of plus? Both the conditions are to be satisfied, or only one can be satisfied? Everyone is saying both, both, both. Brilliant, both. Brilliant, very good, very good answer. Both the conditions are to be satisfied. So first condition is that you should fall under subsection 1. Second condition is that you should meet the turnover and net worth criteria as per the rules. So rules are telling the criteria, which is turnover criteria and net worth criteria. So those criteria should be met to conduct cost audit. So cost audit is an accumulation of two things. First, the cost records. Second, the turnover and net worth criteria should be met. Again, who will tell us what is the turnover and net worth criteria? Guys, the rules will tell us. There are rules which we are going to study in our chapter number 2. Those will tell us what are the turnover and net worth criteria. Sir, are the turnover and net worth criteria of cost records different from cost audit? Yes, guys. There are two separate turnover criteria. There are two separate net worth criteria. The turnover and net worth criteria for cost records is separate and for cost audit is different. So in a nutshell, if suppose 1 lakh companies are falling under category of cost records, out of those 1 lakh, only 20,000 will fall under cost audit, because the net worth criteria, the turnover criteria is different. So out of, if 1 lakh companies are preparing their cost record, then out of that only 20,000 will fall under category of cost audit. Only few of them will be categorized under cost audit. So that is the linkage, that is the ratio, that is the connect between cost records and cost audit. So that will obviously happen. Okay, sir, got it. Then last but not at all the least, who can do cost audit? Who can do cost audit? Only and only a cost auditor can do cost audit. Who can be a cost auditor? Who can be a cost auditor? A cost accountant in practice can be a cost auditor. Only a cost accountant in practice can be a cost auditor. Now, guys, I'll give you an assumption, okay? Assume that you have qualified CMA final in your first attempt. You have qualified CMA final, okay? You have qualified CMA final in your first attempt, okay? Now, you are still awaiting your membership. Your membership has not been granted to you. You have qualified the examination, but your membership has not been granted to you. Will you be categorized as cost accountant in practice? Yes or no in the chat box? Yes or no in the chat box? You are a CMA. You are qualified. You have qualified CMA final. You have not been allowed the membership as of now, not allotted membership as of now. Will you be categorized as cost accountant in practice? Yes or no in the chat box? Divya says no. Harshika says no. Nagendra says no. Shipra says no. Gaurav says no. Anant Krishna says no. Rohit says no. Gurpreet Kaur says no. Shweta says no. Ashish says no. Perfect answer. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect answer, guys. Now my question number 2. You qualified CMA in first attempt. Both the groups of CMA final. You are a CMA now. You applied for membership. You got the membership. Now are you cost accountant in practice? Yes or no? You got the membership, guys. You got the membership number. Your membership number is 51881. Suppose this is your membership number, okay? Please tell me whether you are cost accountant in practice or not, whether you are eligible to do cost audit or not. Yes or no? Yes or no? You got your membership number. Divya says yes. You got your membership number also. Divya says yes. Inevitable Dreams says yes. Srinivas says yes. Guys, the answer is no. Even when you get your membership number, no, you are not a cost accountant in practice. Sir, then what do you mean by cost accountant in practice? Only getting membership from the institute doesn't make you eligible for doing cost audit. Absolutely incorrect. Once you become the member of the institute, then the second step that you need to take is you need to decide whether you want to go to job or you want to start your own practice. You have to decide, you have to make this critical decision whether you want to do job or whether you want to start your own practice. If you want to start your own practice, guys, then you need to obtain a certificate of practice from the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. So your membership clubbed with your certificate of practice will make you cost accountant in practice. So if you want to become a cost accountant in practice, you need two things. What are those two things? Number 1, membership, which is a final examination. After doing all the trainings which are required to be done, after doing the IOTP, after doing the practical training which is required to be done, after doing all those things, you will get membership of the institute. But after that, you need to tell the institute that I also want to practice. Once you get the COP, certificate of practice, then you become a cost accountant in practice. So for becoming a cost accountant in practice, for gaining right to do cost audit, You need to be a cost accountant in practice. You need CMA membership plus COP, certificate of practice. Plus, the second thing is that you need to be appointed by a board of director. You need to be appointed by a board of director of the company as his cost auditor. Then you become cost auditor. So you need to have an appointment by the board of director of a company. Then you become cost auditor of that particular company. And yes, according to subsection 2, whichever company is falling under subsection 2, they will appoint cost auditor. So if you get appointment as a cost auditor, if the board of directors appoint you as a cost auditor, then you become a cost auditor. So cost auditor means a cost accountant in practice who has been appointed by the board of the company as the cost auditor of that particular company. That particular person is known as the cost auditor. Now, financial auditor or the statutory auditor cannot be the cost auditor of the same company. So, for a particular year, the cost auditor and financial auditor cannot be the same people. They have to be different people. Financial auditor and statutory auditor cannot be the same. They are to be different people. Cost auditor should be a different person. Financial auditor should be this different person. They cannot be same people, because otherwise there'll be a self-review threat, or there'll be a familiarity threat, because financial auditor has already audited your books of accounts. Now, while reviewing the cost books of accounts, he will say that, oh, I have already seen the books of accounts, they are fine. So he will be careless. So financial auditor is not allowed to do cost auditor of the same company. So if the financial auditor is a CA as well as a CMA, then guys, this kind of situation can arise. But financial auditor cannot be a cost auditor of the same company. Now, my question to you is, and I want to test how many of you are studying cost audit well. Can an internal auditor be a cost auditor of the company? Yes or no in the chat box. Can an internal auditor be a cost auditor of the company? Yes or no in the chat box. Yes or no in the chat box. Can a cost auditor be a internal auditor of the company? Can an internal auditor be a cost auditor of the company? Yes or no in the chat box. Yes or no in the chat box. Internal auditor. Can an internal auditor be the cost auditor of the company? Okay, there's a mixed response. Okay, many of you are saying yes, many of you are saying no. There's a mixed response to all of you. Many of you are saying yes, many of you are saying no. The correct answer is no. Internal auditor cannot be a cost auditor of the company. Again, self-review threat. Internal auditor cannot be a cost auditor of the same company. Now, my next question. Nagendra saying no, Srinivasa saying no, Rizwana Jasmine saying no, Karan saying no. Perfect. Next question. Can a concurrent auditor be the cost auditor of the company? Can a concurrent auditor be a cost auditor of the company? Concurrent auditor. Can a concurrent auditor be a cost auditor of the company? Gyanvi says no. Abhishek says no. Aisha Devam Agarwal says no. Can a concurrent auditor be a cost auditor of the company? That is my question. Gaurav says no. Inevitable Dream says no. Shailesh Kamli says a yes. Answer is no. Concurrent auditor also cannot be the cost auditor of the company. Guys, concurrent auditor is an auditor which is dealing with bank audits. Okay, so the audits which are related to banks, they are being dealt with by the concurrent auditor. So answer is no. Concurrent auditor cannot be a cost auditor of the company. Neither internal auditor nor statutory auditor nor concurrent auditor can be the cost auditor of a company. Cost auditor has to be an independent person and a third party, and there are a lot of restrictions on appointing cost auditor also. Now let us see further what are the restrictions which are employed to cost auditor. So yes, financial auditor cannot be a cost auditor, internal auditor cannot be a cost auditor, and concurrent auditor cannot be a cost auditor. Who all persons cannot be a cost auditor apart from this? Who cannot be a cost auditor of a company? Let's see who all cannot be a cost auditor of a company. Section 141. Body corporate. So a company cannot be a cost auditor of a different company. Okay, so cost audit firm cannot be a company. Body corporate cannot be a cost audit firm. Why is that, sir? The reason is very clear. Body corporate has a very unique feature that its owners are separate from the management. So the faults of management cannot be recovered from the shareholders. Shareholders have limited liability. If cost audit is allowed to be done by a company, then guys, the shareholders, we will not be able to catch hold of shareholders for any frauds which are committed by the cost auditor in the organization, in the company. So a company cannot be a cost auditor. A body corporate cannot be a cost auditor. A company cannot be a cost auditor because it has limited liability. We want a setup where we can actually catch hold of the cost auditors, even claim their personal properties for any fraud which is committed with a company, like a partnership firm. So if a cost audit firm is a partnership firm, then the partners are personally liable for any fraud of the company, right? Partners can be personally held responsible. But if a cost audit firm is a company, then partners will not be, or shareholders will not be personally liable. So body corporate cannot be a cost auditor. A company cannot be a cost auditor. No. If you want to be a cost auditor, make a partnership firm, make a sole proprietorship firm where the partners and the sole proprietors have their personal liability. I want person who can personally vouch for the audit work which is being done. I don't want an artificial person to vouch for my most important thing of the country, audit. I don't want any artificial person to vouch for it. I want a natural person to vouch for it, and the natural person is individual partner, individual sole proprietor. So a body corporate cannot be a cost auditor except for LLP, limited liability partnership. So guys, unique feature of LLP is that there is one DP. There is one DP who has got unlimited liability. Designated partner has got unlimited liability. So I have one person in LLP whom I can personally catch hold of if any fraud happens. So LLP is allowed to carry on the cost audit. All the LLP are categorized as body corporate only, but they are allowed to carry on cost audit. Next, an officer or employee of the company. So suppose I become a CMA, and I take up a job in Reliance Industries Limited, and Reliance Industries Limited asks me, oh Nikhil, you are a CMA, why don't you do our cost audit? Guys, I will not be allowed to do cost audit of Reliance Industries Limited. What is the problem? Please write in the comment box. Please write in the comment box what is the problem. Okay, please write in the comment box what is the problem. I am employee of Reliance Industries Limited. I joined in Reliance Industries Limited as the CMA. As a CMA, I joined Reliance Industries Limited. I cannot conduct cost audit of Reliance Industries Limited. Why? What is the problem? Please write in the comment box. Am I clear? Is my voice clear, guys? Is my voice clear? Perfect. Piyush Lohani. Piyush Lohani, brilliant answer. Sound is an issue. Is everyone facing any sound issue? Independence breach. Very good, Gaurav Saha. Very good, Gaurav Saha. Independence issue. Harisha. Harisha, I will take COP. Don't worry, I will take COP. Then what will happen? Yes, Gurpreet Kaur, independence is the issue. Shipra, Nirjhani, lack of independence. Perfect. Employee-employer relationship. It's like judging yourself. Srinath Ganapati. Srinath Ganapati. Beautiful answer. It's like judging yourself. Employee of the same company. Lack of independence. Your opinion will be biased. Your opinion will be pressurized by someone else. Perfect answer. Independence will not be there. Perfect answer. Independence will not be there. Independence will be impaired. Right? Perfect. So an officer or employee of the company cannot be the cost auditor. Even a partner of the officer or employee of the officer or employee, if there's a partner of the officer is doing some business also. So employee can do some independent business also. And the partners of those, those businesses cannot also do cost audit of this particular company and his employees. So employees of an officer of the company. So I am working with Reliance Industries Limited. I have my own company also where I have employees. Okay. So my employees can also not do cost audit of Reliance Industries Limited. So an officer or employee of the company or partner of officer or employee of officer are debarred from doing cost audit. Debarred from doing cost audit. So Ashish is saying there is some sound issue. Is there some sound issue, guys? Please tell me if there is some sound issue. Ashish is saying there's some sound issue. Everyone, please tell me if there is any sound issue. Are you able to hear me properly? Is there a sound issue? Verifying my work will not give true and fair picture. Shweta Tiwari, brilliant answer, Shweta. Very good answer. Verifying my own words. Some students are saying yes, some students are saying no. Not right now. Okay, Inevitable Dreams is saying not right now. Some students are saying yes, some students are. So can you please tell me what is the issue? What is the issue? Is it disturbance in the sound or is it lack in the sound? What is the issue? Anyone, what is the issue? Okay. Next is a person who holds any security or interest in any group company. Now it's proper. Okay, now it's proper. Perfect, perfect. So any person who is holding security or interest in any group company. So if any person who is holding any security, security means shares or any interest in not only the company but also the entire group. Entire group. If entire group is getting. Okay, no issue, no issue. Now clear, now clear. Perfect, perfect. Now the voice is clear. Okay. So if a person who holds any securities or shares in the company or in any of the group companies, then that particular person is debarred from doing cost audit. So if any shareholder of the company is there who's holding shares in a particular company, guys, that particular person is debarred from conducting cost audit of the same company. Now, not only should he be a shareholder of the same company, but also the entire group. He should not be a shareholder. So what do you mean by group companies? Let's see, guys. What do you mean by group companies? Group company means this is my company. So if this is my company, then the holding company is the group company. Subsidiary company is the group company. Sister concern, which means holdings subsidiary is a group company, and companies associate is a group company. That is how internal employee not eligible. Srinath is absolutely correct. Internal employee is not eligible. So as group company means this is the company whom I'm proposing to do cost audit. This is my company where I want to do cost audit. I should not hold securities of the holding company, of the subsidiary company, of any sister concern or any associate. Who is an associate? Associate means any company which has got a significant influence over the company. So if this company has significant influence over other company, despite of the fact the other company is not a subsidiary, even then the other company is known as associate who's having a significant influence. So if I want to do cost audit, if I want to do cost audit of this company which is highlighted in pink, I should not hold securities of its holding company, its subsidiary company, its sister concern, or its associate. If I want to do cost audit of company which is highlighted in pink. So a person who holds any security or interest in any group company, he is debarred from doing cost audit of that particular company. Not only that particular company, but also of the entire group. Then the partner of such person or the relative of such person are also not required, are also debarred from doing cost audit of that particular company or that particular group. So if I have shares of a company, okay, and I want to do cost audit of that particular company, I have shares of that company, I want to do cost audit of that particular company, I will not be able to do cost audit of that particular company. Now if even if my relative has got some shares in this company, relative means maybe your spouse, if your spouse is holding shares of this company, then also, guys, you will not be able to do cost audit of that particular company if your spouse is holding any shares. So partner, partner means your business partner or your relative. If even these two people have shares in the particular company, then you will not be allowed to do cost audit of that particular company. So this is the exception. Then relative of partner of such a firm which holds any security or interest in any group company which is more than 1 lakh rupees. So if any relative of partner of such a firm which holds any security or interest in any group company which is more than rupees 1 lakh rupees, then again the person is not allowed to carry on the cost audit. I'll give you a practical example. Okay, I'll give you a practical example. Guys, this is Mr. X. Okay, Mr. X proposes to do cost audit of this company. Company is highlighted in pink. Company is highlighted in pink. Company is highlighted in pink. So Mr. X wants to do audit of the company which is highlighted in pink. Okay, now Mr. X shouldn't hold any shares in this particular company if it wants to do cost audit of this particular company. And name of Mr. X is not Mr. X. It actually is CMAX. Okay, he's a CMA. CMAX wants to do cost audit of company which is highlighted in pink. So naturally, guys, X should not hold shares of company X, its holding company, its subsidiary company, its sister concern, and its associate. X should not hold shares in any of these companies. Okay, that is the prime condition. Now, the secondary condition is that if there's any relative of the partner, if there's any relative of the partner of such firm Okay, so Mr. CMAX has a partner who's CMAY. CMAX has a partner CMAY. Now CMAX wants to conduct cost audit of company X. So CMAX should not have shares of company. Similarly, guys, CMAY should not also have shares or securities of this particular company. Now CMAY has a relative. Okay, the name of relative is Z. Now this is an indirect relationship. Okay, CMAY has a direct relationship with the X. Z has an indirect relationship with X. X wants to do cost audit of company, which is highlighted in pink. Now, guys, please note that relative indirect relationship can have shares up to the extent of 99,999 rupees. He should not have shares exceeding rupees 1 lakh. So he can have shares up to rupees 1 lakh. So relative can have shares up to rupees 1 lakh. That's permissible. If the shares are beyond rupees 1 lakh, then that is not permissible. But CMAY should not have any shares. CMAX should not have any shares. Relative can have shares up to the face value of 1 lakh rupees. CMAX cannot have shares. CMAY cannot have shares. But relative Z can have shares up to extent of 1 lakh rupees. So this is a difference, okay? The partners CMAY and CMAX cannot have any shares, but CMAZ, the relative Z, can have shares to the extent of 1 lakh rupees. That is the condition. Okay, sir, got it? So, relative of partner of such firm which holds any security or interest in any group company which is more than 1 lakh rupees. So relative can have shares up to 1 lakh rupees. Beyond rupees 1 lakh, the shares cannot be there in case of relative, but in case of direct relationship, which means both the partners, the shareholding have to be 0. You cannot have even a single share. So that is the restriction on conducting the cost audit. And yes, guys, the clock has started ticking. Gaurav, because there's indirect relationship and there's some leeway which is given. Gaurav says why? Why? The reason is that there's some leeway which is given, there's some benefit which is given. If you're a relative of a partner, then you're allowed to hold 1 lakh rupees of shares. That's okay. Beyond that, you're not allowed to hold. But if you're the partner, then you're not allowed to hold even a single rupee of share in that particular company which you propose to audit. That is the leeway, that is the relaxation which is given. Okay, guys, let's stop our class at this point in time, and we have covered our section till this particular fact. We'll be starting off in the next class beyond this particular section, guys. So yes, we'll be meeting in our next class. Guys, please do remember to join me in the WhatsApp group. And this is the details of the WhatsApp group. And these are the numbers where WhatsApp group is to be, you will be added to this WhatsApp group. And guys, please remember about these tests. Test series have started. This test is also given in the communities tab on my YouTube channel. Please go on the communities tab. You will get details of all these tests which are planned for cost audit and BVM SPM. Until April, this chart has been given to you. So prepare yourself. Until April, I'll be taking test series on this basis. Beyond April, I'll be taking test series on the further schedule which I'll be providing to you. Every Saturday, there'll be a test. So today evening, there's a test of which chapter merger and acquisition will be dealt with in today evening 7 o'clock, and next class will happen on next Saturday. Every Saturday 9 o'clock cost audit revision will happen. Next class will happen on next Saturday. So do join me on the WhatsApp group for the test series and other information like today's notes I'll be sharing in the WhatsApp group. So please be live on the WhatsApp group. And yes, Shiva, I will be taking up all the theory portions of cost audit as well. So yes, that's all for this particular session, guys. We'll be meeting in our subsequent sessions with more such useful marathon videos of cost audit and BVM SPM, both of them. I'll be announcing the date for BVM SPM very, very soon. Let's get on to June 2022 attempt very, very seriously, very, very severely. All the very best and happy studying. Bye-bye. See you in the next class.